Welcome in to Provo, Utah for BYU Women's Lacrosse, coming to you live on KSLSports.com as we stream the home opener for BYU in this Parkway rivalry, Utah Valley and Brigham Young. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Excited to be able to bring this contest to you here on KSLSports.com live. Excited to be the home for BYU Women's Lacrosse this year. We'll have a couple fall games, pick it back up in the spring. But we get the home slate started here on this Friday evening. BYU in their home whites, Utah Valley in the road greens, as we'll introduce to you starting players, starting lineups, as we are just about set here to get things underway in Provo. Is just doing some network on the south end here. While they do that, we will share with you the starting goalies tonight for these two respective teams. For BYU, it'll be Anna Kreipel getting the start between the pipes for the Cougars. And meanwhile, for Utah Valley, Peyton Kimball getting the start for the Wolverines. As that net set to go, and we are ready for tonight's opening draw. A lot of players that have played here in the state, several that have played out of state. Speaking of high school and former collegiate play, and excited to be able to watch their careers continue here starting tonight as we are underway at Brigham Young University. Possession gathered by Utah Valley. Ella Clark will bring this ahead, and we're going to apologize, folks. We're looking right into the sun, so we're going to do our best with some of the players and numbers here. I also want to let you know the clock you see on your screen, unofficial, so at times we'll have to stop it early, start it late, that sort of thing, as we do our best to keep it trued up with the official clock being kept on the field. As Utah Valley starting it, coming near side, ground ball kept by the Wolverines. That's Reagan Wall. Feeding in front, and that one gathered by Kreipel as BYU can't get the clear right in front of the crease, and still gathered again there by BYU. Now working through transition. Cougars coming on the run. Played outside, now stepped into the middle. Utah Valley able to get back, and so the BYU offense now will set up. Here's Tessa Fry, one of the captains on this BYU team this season. BYU here being patient on offense. They'll get this down with Berkeley Royce. Now back up. Fry. Given here with Madeline Larkins. Senior attack out of Salt Lake. Little burst here, Ballard. Looking for somewhere to go. Nice defense by this Wolverine squad. That pass gonna roll and kept in. No, my bad. Thought that she got there, but the official there saying she could not. Larkins there was trying to give chase for the Cougars. Wolverines here coming on the clear. Here's Wallentine playing ahead with Wall. Reagan here being patient. Around the defender, right down the alley there. Pushed wide. Tried to feed in front, but nice job by Kreipel. They're aware of what they were trying to do, able to intercept. BYU pushing here once again. Giles will take this back behind goal. Couple Wolverines able to split the shot in the goal. Hey, there you go. First goal of the game scored by the Cougars as it was Whitney Holt. Crafty move, working around through traffic, able to capitalize, and it's 1-0 BYU. Apologies, that clock's still running, and we do a lot of sports. We're kind of midstream in football right now, so I'm used to just stopping that clock after a score. Our apologies. We're not really in lacrosse season yet. We are. We're going to work on the production side here of getting up to speed. Appreciate your patience with that as that clock approaching 11 to play here. And this one out of the air, gathered by the Wolverines. This one rolling through is the defense of the Cougars back, trying to possess here with Giles. Able to stick with it and gather it. Boy, good burst here through the middle. This is Catherine Carpenter. As this ball across the field of play, out of play. We'll head back to Utah Valley. Nice pressure there by BYU, the double team. Able to knock that loose. It'll be Cougar possession. BYU here setting up Ballard. Giving to Larkins, Madeline here. Works to the middle, got some space, shot, and a goal. Boy, very similar looking goal there for BYU. As Holt scoring her second of the game, makes it 2-0. She's just got that quick step. They've given to her right around GLE. Able to get around that edge defender, come right in front of the goal. A couple nice finishes here for Whitney, the senior out of Provo. Able to net a couple early goals for the Cougars. This BYU program established back in 1994 and has competed without break. The USA Lacrosse Women's Collegiate Lacrosse Association and the Rocky Mountain Women's Lacrosse League. Had some top finishes over the year. 3 finishes in the top 10 in the last 8 years, speaking of BYU. As they have the possession, again setting up their offense. Screen there, sticking with it. I think this is Carpenter. We'll give to Ballard, now to GLE wide here with Larkins. Trying to feed in front. That one just a little tough for Larkins to handle. Good idea there. A pass that was difficult to maintain, as you see the stick check there, but Utah Valley able to work this up. Ball could not be possessed. And they're going to stop the clock here. Just inside 8 minutes to go, and the green being shown here. We've got a timeout being taken. Timeout. Utah Valley will take a quick break. They'll have possession trailing 2-0 here just inside 8 to play in our opening quarter. Okay, so out of that timeout, Utah Valley possession. This will be Caitlin Sperry here to start it for the Wolverines. Tried to work this ball inside here early. It's just been tough to do especially with Kreipel. She's been aggressive in the crease today for BYU. Not overly so, just very keenly aware of where the ball is and how Utah Valley's been trying to attack. She's been up to it here early. As we've hit the midway point here, opening quarter, and that pass disrupted. They were trying to feed it there to Sperry, who was coming from behind the cage. That ground ball still loose here as Utah Valley has it thanks to Sophie Grizzle. A whistle there. Will be a free position here for the Wolverines. I think it'll be Reagan Wall to set up. Wall here looking like she may shoot on the whistle. She will. The rip and the save. Kreipel. Strong save there is the clear here, intercepted by Alyssa Brown for Utah Valley. Wolverines coming right back up with it. Wall. And that flag held up there. So this time it'll be Ella Clark. Coming in, getting close, shot and a goal. Good shot there by Clark as Utah Valley able to capitalize off the free position. Utah Valley, they needed that. Had a couple goals they gave up, and really nice job there applying pressure and continue to put pressure on. As BYU couldn't get a good clear on, and Clark off that free position, able to capitalize. The procedure here will give it back to Utah Valley. Couple minutes here where possession been strong for the visitors. Trying to feed the cutter. That pass just a step in front. Loose ball here behind the goal. Tracked down by the Cougars. Can they get the clear? Kreipel plays this up. Hooper now working through the middle. Quickness here through the middle. I think that might be that Cannon with it. I think so. Olivia Cannon, one of the local contributors here for BYU, played her high school lacrosse at Mountain Ridge in Harriman. Fed in front shot, and that just missed. Boy, great setup there for Whitney Holt. Had an early look at potential hat trick there for Holt in this opening quarter. Cannon turning back. Good defense there by Lily Messina for Utah Valley. Oh, nice step through shot, and that one taken away. Nice save there by Kimball. Looked like they were trying to shoot that low and tucked the feet together, took that away. Keep this a one-goal game. You can see inside, 3 to go. as Utah Valley crosses midfield. Ground ball. Utah Valley able to maintain this somehow. Taylor Ford, another local lacrosse player. I believe Bingham, if memory serves correct. And if not, my apologies to Taylor and her family. There's a lot of high schools around here. Is the whistle here. BYU going to be player down here. Trying to feed in front, shot saved. Boy, Kreipel didn't see where that went, but she saw where it was coming from. Able to deny, and now London Giles coming up. Giles end to end. Runs into that wall of Utah Valley defenders. So they've stopped the clock here, 90 seconds left. Going to be Utah Valley possession here. Mentioned a few things we're still getting up to speed on, and some of that's going to be the women's collegiate rules. I had a PowerPoint shared, which is super helpful, but some of the details we'll be picking up in the next couple of weeks here. As Utah Valley here approaching the final minute, shot on goal. Kept out by Kreipel again. She's had a couple nice saves. BYU working up in transition. As we're inside the final minute of this opening quarter. We are right next to the landing pad for the hospital. Everyone kind of had their eyes going to the sky on that one as helicopter came right atop the stadium. Of course, if I understand correctly, possession is maintained cross quarters, so BYU could elect here to hold for these final 30, and I believe would start with possession as they've served the remainder of their time. Now BYU is player up. Cut in front, and flag held up there. Stops it with 16 seconds to play. Free position here for BYU. Leading 2-1. You'll see they'll be patient with it. His final seconds here being ticked away. And at the end of one, BYU leads Utah Valley 2-1, thanks to a pair of goals from senior Whitney Holt here on this Friday night. You're watching BYU Women's Lacrosse live on KSLSports.com. Ready to start our second quarter. 2-1, BYU in the lead. Coach Melissa Nash, rotating goalies here, believe, is Marcella Woolley, the freshman out of Park City, now between the pipes for the Cougars. As again, BYU starting with possession here. As Utah Valley is man down to start it. That is still being served, now is cleared. So the Wolverines back at full strength as that shot was just wide. Fed in front. Oh, somehow that found its way through. Well, I'm still trying to find the player on that one. Was it Emily Benyon? I think it was. The freshman out of Los Altos, California. Great ball movement there for BYU to start this second quarter. So back to a 2-goal lead here for the Cougars. A lot of youth on this BYU team. They got plenty of experience as well. Senior with 2 goals and now a freshman with 1. Set to draw here, and BYU able to possess. As that was Tessa Fry coming up to gather that out of the air. This one kind of slips through a bouncer. BYU still on it here. Right down the alley shot, and that one might have been deflected. Ground ball here behind, and it will be Utah Valley possession. Pressure here by the Cougars. Able to break it up momentarily. Out of the air, being batted to that south end, the attack end for BYU. That'll stop the clock here. 12.5 to go, and the infraction there on the Cougars, I think, might have been a hold indication. I'm going to apologize to our officials because they're on the field. They know what's going on. We're up in the press box. We got a ways. Can't hear a lot. Trying to read signals. We'll do our best to decipher those for you tonight. But recognize there may be some where we just see it from a distance and struggle to make it out cleanly. They stopped the clock here with 12:13 to go, so we're going to pause ours, and as the game gets started, we'll let it kind of catch up. There's Utah Valley now to set it up. Talked about the change between the pipes in this second quarter. Marcella Woolley, the freshman, on. Wolverines here, fed in front. Woolley, oh, she got aggressive, trying to play that from behind the cage, and Utah Valley caught her. I think it might have been Sophie Grizzle with the Wolverine goal. Saw Woolley try to jump back and get back between the pipes there quickly. But Grizzle with the quick shot. Able to capitalize there for Utah Valley. Grizzle, a former Miner as well. One of the fun things why we love the opportunity to do this, we stream a lot of high school coverage, including boys and girls lacrosse here in the state of Utah, and a chance to come and see players that we covered in high school continue to play collegiately. Man, we got to do that. And super grateful for the opportunity as Grizzle here off the bounce. As Utah Valley, they've actually been pretty good on the draws today. Sperry. Trying to feed the cutter there. Nice stick work by Cannon. Able to break that up. And this will be BYU possession. Cannon coming ahead. Nice pass, able to get it ahead with Carpenter. Carpenter around the D. And the shooting space call there will allow the free position here for the sophomore Catherine Carpenter. Carpenter coming in, the shot and the goal. Off the free position, Catherine Carpenter with her first goal tonight makes it 4-2. Apologies there. Got a lot to manage up here. Had to get our clock situated there. Inside the 9-minute mark. Set to draw. Good battle, but it's Reagan Wall on the self-draw. Benyon was in on that draw for BYU. Here's Reagan Wall. Gives us with Ford. Now over to Maggie McEwen. This will be a free position for Utah Valley. The rip there and the goal. Boy, a high heater there from Reagan Wall. Able to score her first tonight. As Utah Valley responds to stay within one. Very precise shot there from Wall. Utah Valley's it jumped on Woolley. For those of you wondering, I've been in that position, and it's not easy. I let out a bit of a squeal, actually. As this draw, able to be captured by Camden Ballard. BYU now setting up. Here's Royce. Berkland worked her way down the alley there as Whistle there, and now it will be Berkeley with the pre-position. Out of Middleton, Idaho. For those of you who know where Middleton is, that's the old Parents stopping ground right now, actually. Royce coming in, shot. And did she score? Yes, she did. Great shot there by Berkeley Royce. Oh, never mind. I thought they indicated a good goal, but I must have missed that one. As Utah Valley quickly up the field here. As I was looking down, I missed that call. My apologies. Utah Valley setting things up here. Open shot there. Boy, a little bit of a changeup. Kind of caught Woolley on the bounce shot, and UVU has now tied things up. On the goal from Alyssa Garlick. You see how quickly kind of momentum can shift a little bit there. I thought BYU had a goal, and obviously I missed that one. Quickly up the field for Garlick, able to capitalize, and instead of it back to a 2-goal lead, it's tied up here. Back to center. Fry in to take this draw for BYU. Tess Fry, another local, played at Skyline up in Salt Lake. Out of the air, caught by Ballard. BYU, boy, attack mode, Ballard shot. That one is definitely in. It's a good goal. Camden Ballard right down the alley, scoring for her first goal tonight as BYU retakes the lead. Ballard, one of those youngsters, a freshman, had 2 sisters that played for BYU. We talked about this program over the years. Always awesome when you've got siblings that have gone through, played for it. A lot of pride that comes from that. Talk about some of the national tournament finishes for BYU as Utah Valley will start with it, and they'll stop this on the call. BYU also champions of the Rocky Mountain Women's Lacrosse League in 18, 19, and 22. Here's Sperry. Feeds over. A lot of real estate here. Shot and a goal. Boy, no one picks up the attacker there from goal line extended. A run right to the crease, and Utah Valley able to capitalize and tie it back up. That was Taylor Ford with her first goal of the game. So that defense kind of come up. But then no one takes away that lane from GLE, and Taylor Ford able to score, tie things back up at 5. Inside 2 to go here in the first half. Mentioned this fall schedule. BYU was up in Logan last week. Couple wins up in Cache Valley here for their home opener. They got one more game here on November 7th when BYU will host Utah. Wrap up their fall league. We've got alumni game here in a couple weeks as whistles here. As we approach the final minute. Fed right in front. That one couldn't be corralled. Scooped up there, I think, by Johnson. Yeah, Kennedy Johnson's come into goal for Utah Valley. My apologies. I'd missed that change earlier. As BYU back on it. Harris plays this over to Royce. Berkeley feeds a shot and a goal. Boy, nice rip there from Catherine Carpenter. Her second goal of the game. BYU retaking the lead. A little scoreboard snafu there. We'll get that fixed for our apologies. As we'll kind of let the clock here at 18. Seconds kind of run out this half, and then we'll get that graphic. As you can tell, we did a high school game last night. System reverted back. Our apologies. 6-5 is your score. BYU leading. Pair of goals from Holt, and now a pair of goals from Carpenter. The clock down to 10. Can UVU tie this up late in this half? Fed top, cutting in, Grizzle. Could you get a shot away? And I think Willie might have gotten a piece of that defended off. And that will do it for the first half. 6-5 BYU leading Utah Valley. You're watching BYU Women's Lacrosse on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Ready to start our third quarter. 6-5 BYU leading Utah Valley. As Carpenter scoring that goal with just over a minute to go in the half, gave BYU the lead. Utah Valley able to gain the first possession here in this third quarter. It trailed by 2 goals, speaking of the Wolverines, for large portions of that first half. BYU always kind of extended it, and then Garlick's game-tying goal, and things have kind of stayed in that 1 range since that point as the sun set, hoping that makes things a little bit easier for us to see here. As the whistle here will give a free position to Utah Valley. They'll stop this. Official coming over to the table, I believe. I thought they had. Looks like we maybe, yeah, there we go. Shot there, saved. This will be BYU possession as Kreipel back in cage for BYU and made an impressive save here. And then this one's going to be given up. Couldn't see the indication there. My apologies. UVU back on it. Grizzle goes back to Wall. Free position here for Reagan. She'll take the shot and save by Kreipel. Able to track that well. Now coming ahead, Larkins. Gives this to Cannon. Nice little move there, trying to free up a little bit of space. Hand this to the cutter, shot and a goal. Camden Ballard, great movement there by BYU as Ballard able to score her second tonight. Pushes it back to a 2-goal lead for the Cougars. They give Holt the assist, as well they should. As we approach 12 to play here, third quarter. Set here for this draw. BYU trying to possess off the ground. Being battled for here, Grizzle and Carpenter. BYU comes up with it. Good pursuit there by Fry. Here's Ballard. She's got some space. Running in Camden. Able to draw the call there. Ballard will step up here for a free position opportunity. Ballard has a pair of goals. Looking for her third and finding it. Camden Ballard, back-to-back goals here in this third quarter. Extends this to a 3-goal lead for BYU, their largest of the game. Mentioned Camden, one of the freshmen on this BYU team. Scoring the hat trick here tonight. A couple other BYU players approaching hat tricks. Is this drawn? Procedure there will give it to UVU. Tessa Fry tried to make a quick move to gather that draw. And they'll stop this here. Green card there shown to Larkins. BYU now down a player. Going in from the wing, back up with Wall. Fed in front, that pass couldn't be gathered, was looking for Grizzle. And BYU, they're able to win the chase, I believe. And be Cougar possession. Maybe one of the last cool fall evenings we have. Very pleasant. A little cooling breeze, not too strong. As this ball loose through the middle. And BYU there was ready to start, but had the card being shown here. So we'll have to pull this back. Teams at even strength here, with each having a player off. Wall continuing with this. They'll stop this one as well. Another card being shown here. This a green. BYU had worked back to even strength. Now no more. As Hallie Christensen, the junior, will have to come off. Wall. Another stoppage here for another card. Worked in front. Oh, Kreipel. She's got a couple saves. Have been just like that. A couple really nice denials. This UVU team keeps it a 3-goal difference as we're past the midway point here in this third quarter. Ballard will work with Benyon. Here's Holt. From behind goal, works up with Cannon. Benyon surveying here. Looking for a step around Grizzle. Shot there. That one was denied. And Kennedy Johnson got a piece of it. Trying to work in front. They get it there. That shot just wide and backed up. Good look there for BYU. Tessa Fry with a quick turnaround shot. That one given up in the middle and stick came up there. This will be a yellow being shown. Grizzle here will start it. Had a goal back in that second quarter, Sophie did. Trying to work up. Another whistle here. Another card being shown. BYU now 2 players off here with cards. Wolverines. Here's Wall. Trying to feed in front. That was denied. Quick burst here. Stepping around. Shot. There's the first goal this second half. Coming for UVU. Great burst there, I think, by Sperry. Yes, it was. First goal tonight for Caitlin Sperry. Utah Valley, goal there to kind of keep them hanging around here. Have not led tonight. The Wolverines, they've fought back to tie this up, but now facing a familiar 2-goal deficit here. That one did not get out. They actually called procedure there, so Utah Valley will start with the possession. Wall able to split the defense. Here's Ford. Trying to work through traffic. Ford down the alley. And a whistle there as she was working her way to the cage. Be a free position here for Taylor Ford. Remember her quickness in high school, and you see it on display there. Set up here, ready to shoot. Free position. She'll step in. And tried to feed that one behind. Wolverine still on it. Ford going to come off here as Wall. Trying that left side. Lost it momentarily. Able to regather. And actually going to stop this. Mentioned Ford was trying to get off. She's now down. Didn't see what happened, but she took a knee, and coach is coming out here to have a look. Certainly hope she's okay. We'll take a quick break, step aside here, injury timeout. Watching BYU Lacrosse on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Ford was able to come off the field under her own powers. Good to see. As UVU starting with it here. Grizzle works with Sperry. Cutter there coming through. Couldn't possess that. BYU trying to get the clear, lost it. Grizzle able to pick that back up here for the Wolverines. Let's stop this here. 1:57 left. We never credited that last UVU goal, so our apologies on that. Just getting things trued up here. Grizzle feeds in front. As we're inside 90 seconds left here in the third. Morton. Trying to look in front there as Clark had stepped up. Couldn't connect, and now BYU running in transition. Inside a minute here in the third quarter. Fed to Cannon, that shot over the crossbar. And that'll stay here with the Cougars. UVU here to start this. Approaching 30 seconds left. That cleared, nearly intercepted, but stepped in front and winning it is Hooper. Abbey. Staying with that ground ball, trying to maintain it, could not. I'll keep it here. They stopped this with 7 seconds left. Had to wait for that one. Official had to blow that one live. Ends up giving it up. So UVU now with it. 7 seconds left here. And taken away by BYU. I would imagine they probably hold this as Cardell will, and that will do it for the third. 8-6 BYU leads Utah Valley as we head to the fourth quarter in the home opener for the Cougars on KSLSports.com. Start of our fourth quarter. 8-6 BYU leading Utah Valley. As BYU here will start this fourth quarter with possession. Interesting, the first quarter was a 2-1 scoring advantage for BYU. The third quarter also a 2-1 scoring advantage for BYU. That second quarter is when things really picked up. We'll see if these two offenses will pick things up here in the fourth, as they did in the second. BYU here behind goal. We'll give with Benyon. Fed in front to Ballard. That one saved. I think we had illegal stick use there, I believe. This will be a free position here for Camden Ballard. Has the hat trick. Opportunity to push it back to a 3-goal lead for the Cougars. Ballard coming in, shot. I don't know if that hit the post or if it hit off the foot of Kimball. Either way, it goes wide, and Utah Valley here with possession. Working on this clear. BYU pressing up is played near side with Wall. Here's Grizzle. Kreipel staying in cage here in this fourth quarter. Grizzle, boy, not a lot of room to work there, but the whistle here will be an infraction on BYU. Sophie Grizzle now with the free position. She'll take a shot and scores. Boy, one thrown right at the feet. Sophie Grizzle with the Wolverine goal to pull Utah Valley back to within one. Second goal of the game for Grizzle. Talk about some of the similarities in that first and third quarters. And second and fourth quarter, Grizzle scored the first goal of that second quarter for Utah Valley. That was her previous goal, and now scoring the first goal of this fourth quarter for Utah Valley. Both of them brought them to within one. This draw. BYU trying to get there. They'll stop this one. Do I have a card here? I believe some question on whether or not we should be running the clock or not. And I thought that was a question at hand. So BYU starting. Got a little momentum here. Fry. Free position here for the Cougars. Worked in front, denied. Kimball there stout on that shot. BYU still with it here. Cannon feeds in front. That one just couldn't quite be handled. They were looking for Larkins. There on her cut to right in front of the crease. And now the Wolverines here working to clear. Messina steps around the D, works up with Clark. UVU. Oh, cut her right in front, and UVU with the goal. Boy, was it Ella Clark who came running through? I think it was, and BYU lost her, but they're going to stop the clock here. Maybe a question on the stick here. It is a good goal. So was Ella Clark there to tie it up at 8? I thought they stopped the clock, but that clock is still running, so we'll get that trued up here for you. Inside 9 to play, tied up at 8. This will be UVU possession. Another procedure call there on the draw. Work down with Sperry. And around. Wall. That lane shut down by this BYU defense. Tried to feed in front. And the whistle here will be a free position. UVU has not led tonight. First opportunity for them to do so here. This is Grizzle. Showing patience. Flag there as it will be another free position here. So Grizzle will try one more time. Shot there that ringed off the crossbar. And able to be gathered there by Kreipel. Now BYU coming ahead. Posts are always the goalie's best friend. BYU now setting up Cannon. Gives this with Holt. And now Ballard. As we approach the 6-minute mark. Nice run there and a goal. BYU with the answer as they maintain the lead. How about that burst by Berkeley Royce? There's the Middleton, Idaho native scoring tonight for the Cougars. Berkeley, the pride of Middleton High School. The Vikings for us Idahoans up there. BYU in front and able to possess off of this draw. Cougars coming ahead. Carpenter. Benyon showing patience here as we approach 4.5 minutes to go. stop this here. As UVU now player down here. Free position for the Cougars. A chance to make this back to a multi-goal lead here. Had to get kind of things, procedure things taken care of. That's set. So be Fry coming in. Just going to like to be patient here. Worked in front. Tough shot. That one did not score. Well, a couple of BYU players thought it was in, but it was not. Gathered by Holt. As BYU maintaining here, approaching the 4-minute mark. That one might have hit off the post. Ricocheted out. Shot there is wide. BYU giving chase. They'll maintain it. Nice chase there by Holt. Had the first 2 goals for BYU tonight. Possession the key here for BYU in these final minutes with a 1-goal lead. That pass deflected. But BYU able to maintain it. Good pursuit there by Carpenter. Here's Royce. Looking in front. Ground ball captured by Ballard. Cannon trying to get that angle. Got a step. It has stick checked away there by Caitlin Trevino. She's trying to work up. Here comes UVU in transition. Cougars racing back defensively. We've got a timeout taken here by Coach Andrew Wright. 2:39 left here in regulation. UVU trailing by 1. They'll take the timeout and have when we come back. Wolverine possession. 2:39 to go in regulation. Wolverines trailed from the get-go. They tied it up in the second, have tied it up here in the fourth. The difference right now is a goal from Berkeley Royce, my apologies. 2.5 to go. See UVU spacing things out here, trying to draw out this BYU defense. That pass trickling near side, able to be captured by Wall. And boy, then a infraction here, and this is going to send Hooper off here with the card. Illegal stick. And so UVU here going to have player advantage. And Reagan Wall to start it. These are the moments where you find out a lot about your team here, both for the offense of UVU and for the defense of BYU. Wall. Trying to feed in front. Grizzle. Boy, you see that BYU defense really clamp down there. A triple team, but the call here will be a free position for Sophie. 2 goals tonight. Her and Clark each with a pair. There's 1:45 left, and a green here going to be shown to BYU now. Stopped it with 1:44 to go. Grizzle, going to be patient here with advantage for the Wolverines. This one slides through, captured by Clark. 90 seconds left. BYU had the possession. They get a timeout taken. We got a stoppage here. How about the aggressive nature there of the goalie, Kreipel? But she's actually called here for the infraction. And Coach Nash here looking for an explanation. There's now 3 Cougars kneeling at the table here with 1:26 to go. So it looks as though Kreipel's going to be back in crease. I'll have another player coming off. So still a numbers challenge for BYU. As officials here still talking near the table there. And now an explanation being given to that Utah Valley bench. Still hear discussion near that table. Of course, on the far side, there's not a lot we can do to help give you clarity. Our apologies for that. We'll certainly get clarity with Coach Nash after this is all said and done. Talking about first year for Melissa Nash here at BYU. Played at Olympus, played at BYU. Was a Rookie of the Year at BYU, an MVP, one of their top goal scorers, and a captain. A great career here, and now back at her alma mater. Was so excited about this opportunity. She texted me right after she got it. I was like, guess what? And super excited for her opportunity here and for the program. Been a great high school coach, great college player, and now a chance to be a great college coach. So I think things are sorted out here. It's still 3 players down for BYU, 1:26 to go. Utah Valley possession, trailing here by 1. Does Kreipel have another save or two in her in a 1-goal game? As another whistle here stops it. And now this will be a free position here for Reagan Wall. Wall, a chance to tie it up. Looks like she's ready to shoot. She'll step in, take it. And that one, I think, saved by Kreipel, I think off the body. Approaching 1 minute to go here. They stop it once again. And it'll be another free position here for the Wolverines. And procedure there. Call us on BYU. As inside a minute to go here. Still 3 players down here for the Cougars. Coming in, shot, and it's tied up. It is Ella Clark stepping in and scoring for Utah Valley to tie it up at 9. Third goal tonight for Ella. Of course, if we're tied up after regulation, head to sudden death overtime. 5-minute frames until there's a goal scored. Box now cleared for BYU, so 2 teams, or BYU back to even strength, I should say. An important draw here. Off the bounce. Grizzle thought she had it, but it's possessed by the Cougars. Ballard coming up with it. Camden coming around, shot, and that was just wide. And BYU there closest to will maintain possession here. 35 seconds left. BYU with it. Chance for a late game winner. They tried to thread the needle on that pass. Tough to fit in. And it will be Utah Valley possession. Wolverines pushing in transition. Here's Wall. 15 seconds left. Inside 10 to play. And we've got a I thought it was going to be a timeout. That's not the call. It'll be a free position here for Grizzle. Officials here talking this one through. Now we've got a timeout, I believe. Yeah, timeout taken. 8 seconds left, tied up. We'll be back with the conclusion of regulation. After this, you're watching BYU Lacrosse on KSLSports.com. Three position tie game. UVU has not led tonight. We've got a chance to do it in the final seconds. Sophie will take the shot and score. And there is the first lead of the game with 6 seconds to go for UVU. Third goal tonight for Sophie. And it has been a 3-1 fourth quarter advantage for the Wolverines. Time out. Let's see if BYU can come up with something special here to try to tie this up when we come back. Final seconds. BYU trailing first time tonight and needing a miracle. This face-off, not cleanly possessed. And that will do it. UVU didn't lead until 8 seconds left, and they stunned BYU 10-9. Spoil the home opener for Coach Nash, returning to her alma mater. Super impressive night, really, for Ella Clark and for Sophie Grizzle for UVU. They each finished with a hat trick. Clark had the equalizer, Grizzle with the game winner. We talk about this BYU offense. Holt had a pair of goals early. Ballard had 3. Carpenter also had a pair. There's plenty of offense there for BYU as they establish that consistency, which you'll see. This is a really, really tough team, good team for Coach Melissa Nash, but they fall here in their home opener. 10-9. UVU able to get the victory over BYU. We want to thank you for joining us. A reminder, BYU, they've got more games coming up here from the Westfield on the BYU campus. As you can come on out, check out BYU as their alumni game up next. That'll be Friday, October 24th, 7 o'clock. And then finally, Friday, November 7th, BYU will host the University of Utah. You can catch that game 7 o'clock right here on Friday, November 7th on KSLSports.com. For Vince Francis, my name is Dane Stewart. Thank you for joining us as BYU drops to Utah Valley 10-9 here on KSLSports.com.